I think today is a fulfilled day for Amnesty International around the world. And therefore, we want to take the opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President, for taking the bold step of repealing this very act of death penalty. But however, being a human rights activist of a long standing, there are questions we need to ask ourselves as lawmakers of what happens to situations like people killing others with deliberate intentions to kill. Because now that we are repealing this, we should have people, we should look at laws that should address areas of like terrorism. Because today we are repealing this because we intend to have the political goal. But what happens to potential terrorists that will attack and kill thousands of people? What happens to serial killers who enjoy killing other people? What happens to them? Mr. Chair and Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as we are here as politicians, we are closely going into elections in 2023, of which we are sure nothing will move that. But also, we should critically analyze the situation that occurred when Fonny killed the boy that was with Joby at the time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, he was tried and he was found guilty. I have not made
Yes, Speaker, that's an allegation. He was not found guilty. He was not found. He was acquitted at the court. He was acquitted at the court.
I take it clear from you. But Mr. Speaker, my point is, what of situations where wicked politicians will use thugs to kill people innocently, as we saw recently in a video where the mad blacker was beaten and nothing came out of it. With this law, it will give wicked and reckless politicians the leverage to send their boys to kill people, and when they are tried and found guilty, they leave them under the guises of pardon. How will you feel if your brother is killed and the person who murdered your brother in cold blood, after 6 months or 1 year, is parading the streets of Freetown? We are saying some of these things not because we want to make politics, but to appeal on the conscience of lawmakers to understand what it means to lose a loved one. If we have our ways, even when God takes our loved ones, we will not want it to happen. But this is a situation we are analyzing here where somebody deliberately says, I'm going to kill you. And indeed, the message is clear. He went there and stabbed the person. And the person is taken to court. He appealed, I am guilty. He is sent to court and to jail. But because he is connected to the powers that be, in 1 month, you see, in fact, with a brand new car, because he's being compensated for doing a political killing. How will you feel? That is why I agree with Honorable Edwin from Bonn that we need to put safeguards. That when somebody is found guilty of murder, at least there should be a reasonable time spent in prison before he is given a presidential pardon. There should be safeguards to ensure people do not use these laws we are making as members of parliament to their advantages. Because what we have is, as politicians, we make policy statements when we are campaigning. But it is left with us as members of parliament gathered here to look at the reasonability of those pronouncements when passing the laws. And that is where I am calling on the conscience of honorable members of parliament to not just say because the president made it clear, a manifesto promise, we should rush into it. But let's apply some caution. Let's apply some wisdom and ask ourselves the question, what if we have terrorists tomorrow in Sierra Leone? And don't forget, terrorists we are talking about are people of high place organizations. They will commit a crime today, a president comes tomorrow, the same network will bribe that president and they go scot-free. I know Sierra Leone. I know this is my land. And I know everything is possible. But again, where is our conscience when it comes to situations? Why do politicians in Sierra Leone even need death penalty now? When we know you can send your boys and kill people and they go free. What the people of Sierra Leone need now is not only the abolition of the death penalty, but what Sierra Leoneans badly need now is a situation where they are free to express their freedom, where they are free to speak what is in their minds. Recently, somebody was incarcerated for 8 months for just Panadol, but the actual crime was not Panadol. Everybody in Sierra Leone knows what is it. So what we want to address in Sierra Leone now is, it's not the issue of just the death penalty. We want freedom, we want justice. When there is justice, when there is freedom, even when you go to opposition, you will rest assured that your liberties will not be tampered upon. Today, we enjoy the goodness of the AC. And let me say this to politicians. The wisest politician is not the one who makes cautions. It's the one who prepared his mind to be intimidated by wicked opponents. What we have now is a situation in which we are on the other side. But we want to treat you like brothers. We want to treat you like friends when you come over here. But the way the law is, one thing I enjoy the wisdom of the speaker. And he knows when issues of conscience are being pierced, he listens with attention. That is what is expected of senior MPs. That is what I expect of senior MPs in this world. I enjoy when the young ones will listen and they get up to challenge issues. But for senior MPs, they should listen and correct us if we make mistakes when we go out. That's why we have the lobby there. But Mr. Speaker, what is my point? My point is, today we have a situation in which the president has made a promise, a manifesto promise. But he has given us the honors as members of parliament to inject reasoning into it, to inject our conscience into it. I would say, before I sit down, that the people of Sierra Leone want justice. The people of Sierra Leone need the freedom to express their opinions. Wisdom will speak to many things. But one thing you need to understand as a politician, you are a public enemy from the day you were elected. And you are not protected by the people you make the laws for. Today, you enjoy making the laws. But there is a life after being a member of parliament. We've made series of laws. Yesterday again, we were at Human Rights Commission, Mr. Speaker. I stood on the point here when we were making the Sexual Offences Act. And I told colleague members of parliament that passing that law affecting kids that are not up to 18 years, allowing them to go to prison for life imprisonment, was inhuman in itself. Yesterday we were at Human Rights Commission, and sadly, one of the commissioners was reporting to us that when he went to Kenema, he burst into tears. Boys who are 12, 15 are being incarcerated in prison for sexual offenses. God save us and our integrities as members of parliament. That law was passed in this parliament with no caution. When we make laws sometimes, let's not allow our emotions to ride over our reasoning. I rest my case.